I basically started the Newsette because I went to BU. I was not admitted into the business school like I wanted to. I was admitted into the general studies program, and I'm actually doing the business school commencement speech in a few days. So that's gonna be cool because I barely graduated. I actually almost got kicked out. My name is Daniella Pierson. I am the founder and CEO of the Newsette Media Group, which encompasses Newsette Media and Newland, our agency, and I'm also the co-founder of Wondemind. When I was growing up, I definitely had a huge fascination with media in terms of reading magazines. So I remember going into the grocery store, Publix, because I'm from Florida, and my mom just saying only one because I would just come to the register with 10 magazines. So I always wanted to work for a magazine. In terms of being an entrepreneur, I was kind of an out-of-the-box kid. I didn't really like school. I didn't really buy into it. Even, in middle school, I would say, why do I need to know about the Earth's crust? I'm not going to be an expert in that, I swear. And I felt really stupid as a kid because I'm an identical twin, and my sister, Alex, is, a genius. But I ended up being so excited for, college. I was like, I'm going to learn about what I'm going to do. And so I get there the first day, and guess what we're learning about? The Earth's fucking crust. As a sophomore, I realized, okay, I have 4 years where I'm lucky enough that I don't have to have a job right now. So this is the perfect time for me to basically create a job, because if no one's gonna hire me because I have bad grades, I need to hire myself. And so I made a list, and I had one column, what am I good at? And then the other column is, what do I love? And I am ashamed, or not that ashamed now to say, but before I was ashamed to say that I was not good at anything. And literally that column was blank. And I'm not just saying that to be humble. I really was not good at anything. I had zero passions, skills. I just was kind of there. And that was a, eye-opener. So then I said, okay, well, if I'm not good at anything, what do I like? And the first thing was magazines. And so I thought, no one's gonna hire me to be an intern at these magazines. I don't have amazing grades, and usually you have to know somebody who knows somebody, whatever. And so why don't I just make my own magazine? But instead of it being printed, what if it was like a daily magazine, almost like a daily gift in your inbox? And that's when I came up with the Newsette. The second I started the Newsette, I felt like, even though it was this, shitty little newsletter that 8 people read, every single day after that, I never missed a day for the 5 years I wrote it myself. Every weekday, I would wake up at 5 a.m., I would get my Fruity Pebbles, my orange juice, and I would just write it. And I would literally finish writing and say, oh my gosh, it's 10 a.m. Like 5 hours went by, but it didn't even feel like it because it was such a rush. And so every time I saw my little newsletter list grow, it literally felt like I was winning a lottery. Essentially, the first month when I graduated, I made $25,000 off of ads. And I was like, oh shit, I can do this. So I moved to New York. It was just me, and then I had an intern, and then I had 2 interns, and it just kind of kept growing from there. But I think the year that we did $1 million in sales without any VC funding, I was really proud because at that time, the media was only covering people with, how much have you raised? Or it was all about, raising money. And I was probably 22 or 23 at the time. And I felt so embarrassed that I wasn't able to raise any money. But then I thought, honestly, it's kind of more impressive, and I'm actually more impressed with entrepreneurs now when I invest in their companies. It's more impressive to convince hundreds of customers to believe in you to make $1 million than convince 3 guys in a boardroom to give you $1 million. And so that's when I kind of felt like maybe I don't need VC money, maybe I can actually grow this big. The next year we did 7 million, and then we did 40 million, and by the end of the year we are going to have over 1 million subscribers. And that's a big deal to us because we could have had over 1 million subscribers a year or 2 ago, but we clean our list to make sure that only the best 500,000, 600,000 people are reading. And so for us to get to 1 million, those are 1 million people who are reading, almost every day. They're engaging. And so they're real, people and views. So I have always been in the quality over quantity approach for everything. We want people that are gonna be so excited to read our newsletter every single day and almost wait for it and refresh their inbox until it comes. And I think our editors, because they really are the people that are writing the content, are the people who are reading it, and it's so authentic, and there's no red tape, there's no board that we have to abide by. Oh, don't write about this, don't write about that. The buck stops here, and I don't think I've gotten involved in anything editorial in years because I trust the people on my team. It's just whatever our readers want to read about, let's write about that.
Pierson is also a co-founder of Wondemind, a platform for exploring and maintaining one's mental health. Its underlying philosophy is that mental wellness requires daily effort, the same way that achieving physical fitness requires regular exercise. The company, first announced in November of 2021, raised $5 million in August of 2022 from Serena Williams' venture capital firm, Serena Ventures, valuing the pre-revenue startup at $100 million.
I have OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, ADHD, and depression. And those were things that, even just a few years ago, I would have rather, just had there's a saying in Spanish where have the earth just rip open and eat me up, rather than say I have OCD or ADHD or anything having to do with mental health. When I spoke on the Forbes 30 Under 30 panel and I left the auditorium after I was done and I was standing there and we all of a sudden were bombarded by this huge line of other entrepreneurs, other Forbes 30 Under 30 recipients, people that I look up to, and I had a line of people wanting to talk to me and shake my hand and take a picture with me. Some people were like, I can't believe how open you are with your, mental health. Good for you, but I would never be. But then some people were like, wow, you talking about that, I have OCD, whispering it to me and stuff. And even just that is, I know, so hard. In a world where you're supposed to be emotionless and fierce and tough and make all the right decisions and be perfect. A CEO wouldn't be embarrassed about telling people that they had a heart problem or diabetes. So why should somebody be embarrassed about saying that they have a mental health disorder? And so I thought, how can I basically change the narrative around mental health and make it so that it is treated like normal health and it's actually cool to talk about it? And so that's when, Wondemind kind of came to be. And Selena Gomez and Mandy Teefey are my co-founders. And it was just really important for us to set up an ecosystem that made it okay and fun and cool and trendy and exciting to learn about mental health and learn about how the most powerful people in the world, the people who are like this on the cover of Forbes, how they deal with their anxiety or their mental health, because truly that's how I felt comfortable enough to say something. The people I'm hoping to reach are not the people who are actively trying to find a therapist. Of course, we want to reach them, and we have, and it's great. We're looking for the people who maybe have thought about it, but thought, oh, I might see a therapist, and their friends like, why? You have a problem? I have accomplished things that I didn't even know I could dream about. I didn't even think that it was a possibility ever. People who are not, Ivy League students, people who are from minorities, people who come from different backgrounds. They don't have, all of this pedigree. They don't have connections, all that stuff. Those people should feel like they have a chance. They shouldn't count themselves out, because I counted myself out, and the only reason why I'm sitting in this chair is because I was in survival mode and I had no other choice, and I am stubborn as hell, and it shouldn't be like that for other people. And so the next 5 years, I want to continue investing in entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that, like me, are not the conventional, let me invest in you type.